Hello everyone and welcome back to the new Women's League of Legends Championship presented by United Students, Twitch Student and Logitech G. I'm still Viperine. I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the last segment, but I'm still Viperine. Hi. I'm still joined by Carmeline, who I did introduce the last segment because why not? But we were watching through that last through the adverts at the beginning of the stream, and Carmeline was like, do you know what? United Students. Every time we see that United Students advert, she's always like, I really wish I could stay in a university accommodation like that, even though she graduated years ago.
Do they need to know how many years ago?
No, we won't say how many years ago, but some years ago. You're not currently.
I'm 24. Okay, I'm not so old. I didn't graduate so long ago. Okay.
I didn't ask on stream. I asked her privately in the break. But if you want to be staying somewhere that Carmeline isn't allowed to stay in, United Students might be the place for you. 25 cities across the country, including London, Birmingham, Oxford, Reading. Those are the 4 that I can remember when I did my research for this ad read. And there is you can cancel. There's no cancellation fees if you're considering what you're looking for, and they are already open for applications for 2021-22, so make sure to be checking those out if there's one in a city that you are going to be studying in, because I've been in a couple of those United Students places in London and Birmingham, and they're really, really nice. I have to say, I've never stayed in one when I was at university, but I've been to friends and partners who have been staying in them, and they are just as nice as they look on those adverts. So make sure to check them out, and thank you to them and everyone else who sponsors us for the support.
Yeah. For example,
Logitech G. I would do that, but these aren't Logitech, so I can't really. I've got the inferior headset, but what's not inferior is our final matchup of the day. So this is actually really, really exciting because I'll level with you. Our last match of the day was planned to be. I'm confused, but we saw them in the second match of the day, and we were talking to our lovely head of league, Gio, and she was like, you know what? Victoria's Secret haven't been on stream yet. And we'd already discussed them a little bit when we were deciding which teams to cast today, because we saw them and they were like, okay, they haven't had a win yet. They got a bye win, but they haven't had one on the Rift. It'd be really cool to see how they play. And so we said, do you know what? Change the final game. We're going to watch Victoria's Secret. And they're coming up against Astro's Angels, who in the first match we saw today had an absolutely torrid time getting run over by the opposition Quackers Oats, who I call Quakers Oats because that's the porridge that I have in my cupboard. But now we're going to see if they can come up against this Victoria's Secret lineup and get a little bit of a redemption arc going.
Yeah. Also, I should note that we're also not watching last game with I'm confused, because today they proved that the worst enemies are themselves. So, yeah, no need to watch it again. But in any case, I'm excited to watch Victoria's Secret versus Astro Angels today. I think there will be one of these teams will get the first victory now. So we will see what happens. We're talking also about how we want to see more fast Angels, like what had been that performance, if they had learned from the mistakes, how do they play differently, and so on. And we are getting the chance to do so. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And honestly, it's a case of I didn't hate their draft. I didn't hate the way that they played, but it was just a case of they were outplayed by Quackers Oats, right? And it sounds weird to say I didn't hate how they played because the game was so short and so one-sided. But when you basically lose lanes on... Are you okay? What are you...
I'm looking at you.
You look the wrong way first, though. Don't I am the king of pointing in the wrong direction. But you were at one point you were just like, wait, I need to work out which one's the wrong way. So you were like, yes, just looking completely the opposite direction. But you know, I'll do this. So, Carmeline, let me tell you about why I liked Astro Angels. They picked an interesting draft. This is actually really difficult because I can actually see here, not over there. But they picked an interesting draft. They went for the Darius, a top laner who needs to get ahead a little bit and didn't. But other than that, things were very, very straightforward, and it looked like the kind of composition that could work out. So if they can come into this one with another cohesive draft, and maybe they could even go for something like the Darius again if Pepega can go a little bit more aggressive and maybe have a bit of a better time on those aggressive plays in the early stages, they could maybe pull something out of the bag here. And Victoria's Secret, we don't really know what to expect from them going into this game. So this one is kind of an unknown matchup for us, but that
Yep.
means that anything could happen.
That means more fun because we don't know what to expect from any of those teams, actually. I mean, I'd say I know what to expect from us Rangers. Also, um, sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze.
Okay,
So,
well,
fine.
let me while you do that, I'm going to reassure my headwear a little bit.
Yep.
Let's talk about champions in League of Legends, right? Carboline, going into this last game, because we don't know exactly what's going to be picked up by these two teams,
Mhm.
is there a champion that you really want to see one of these teams playing?
Of course. There is one well, there's several champions that I want to see being played, but one is always banned, so please stop
Okay,
banning her.
talk us through which
It's
champions are those?
Seraphine. I really
Okay,
want to see Seraphine on the Rift. I know you love her, I know she's one of your favorite champions. I remember last year you really want to see her because she was just released and just like, oh, please let Seraphine be picked, but she wasn't. And now, this time around, she isn't either because she's strong. But the other champion that I want to see is Olaf. What's going on with him?
that
Like,
is honestly a very good question. What's the deal with Olaf? Because he got a bit of a nerf a couple of patches ago. Gore Drinker also got hit, so it was kind of a 2-for-1 with him. But he's still a very, very strong competitive jungler. And does this kind of speak to the level of these junglers in terms of what kind of style they want to play? It does it show that they maybe aren't the most adaptive in terms of going from tank to fighter to assassin or whatever, because we've only really seen one style of jungler. Well, we saw Ivern in the first game, which is
yeah, true.
he's very, very unique. But we saw last game the Sejuani versus the Urgot, which are both two bruisery tanky individuals. So I think Olaf will be fun. One champion I really want to see on this in this final game, especially in terms of the way the champions that the enemy mid laners are playing, is Malzahar.
Hey!
He's my one trick, and no one plays him. And we're going into this game, and we're not going to see Pepega redeem herself on Darius because it's been banned. Ugh. Storylines have been ruined like 10 seconds into champ select, but that's fine because this means that we'll get to see Pepega on something different. So maybe a similar style or a different one.
I mean, but did she do that so well that you'd want to ban Darius this time around? Like, and I don't know. I know if I would have banned Darius, what I do know is that I don't know. I know nothing. Like that philosopher will say.
Yeah, I should know who that is. That was something that I learned in
Me too.
university,
Is
but
that
not.
this? I think so. Is it?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I
I didn't.
Clearly, neither of us did our degrees properly if we can't remember that.
I
Because that's a
failed
very basic.
philosophy all the time. Okay, don't
Yeah,
tell
my
me.
philosophy
It's not my
modules were
fault.
bad. They were bad, but it is what it is. We're back out of Champ Select, by the way, everyone. In case you're wondering, that's why our faces are back on screen. We'll have to see what the issue was there. There was a lobby issue, I'm being told by production. That was speedy,
Wait,
Phil. Goodness me.
but your face was there twice. It's here on this screen twice. Can't you see it?
What?
There. Yeah, on that Rangers logo.
Oh yeah, no, that was actually we were joking about this in the break. That was when the Urgot was locked in last game into the jungle. It was just me, just like, boy. And you know what? Okay. I'm gonna put a gauntlet down for teams now. Can we play wacky picks in the roles that they're meant to be in? Can we?
Can we
Okay.
not?
What I want to see stuff like I want to see Malzahar because you know what? Champion's really hilarious and very simple to play. I think it's the kind of champion that a lot of people don't pick up because it's similar to other stuff, but you can just suppress people for like 2.5 seconds at range. That's really hilarious. You do your damage, all your damage is point and click. Like, champion's dumb. Or I want to see something funny like Tryndamere top. It's funny champ.
Ooh.
Dumb, just hit stuff with a big sword. You don't die. He's been buffed last patch. That could be funny. Don't play champions out of position. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
Don't do that. I'm no. Like, okay. Okay. We're getting towards champs. Like, hopefully the lobby issues will be resolved shortly. Hopefully
But
this
the
isn't
question,
a
the question is that
Okay.
really like currently other champions out of place? Because with so many flex picks, I know what to I know what to expect anymore. Like Seraphine, what can you take her? You
Okay.
can take her the carry, support, mid lane. But
Yes, but you can't play Seraphine jungle, is what I'm talking about. So if you pick Seraphine and it goes mid, I'll be like, cool. Oh, well, I won't be like, cool. I'll be like, Seraphine. But if you pick Seraphine support, I'll be like, Seraphine support. If you pick Seraphine jungle, I'll be like, you're trolling. You're trolling my new games because that's not a champion that. Okay, Urgot jungle isn't that bad. It's not on the same level. I wasn't saying that the Urgot jungle was trolling, but I just want to see wacky picks in their assigned roles. That's what I want for this last game. And because it's just a lot of League of Legends, you just sit down and you see the same game of Gragas Kaiser,
yeah,
and that's
that's true.
fine. But like, and it's not even a case of like copying what the LEC is doing. I love Azir Corki. I want to see that in this game. I don't think
Oh,
we will see that in this game
oh.
because all the games that I watch at lower level only have Azir in them because no one accepts that Corki exists yet, which is fine. But you know, I'd like to see the man in the. I want to see the corgi. You know, where he like flies around the little dog. I like that skin. I want to see him turn up. The new. Have you seen the new skins? Actually, this is important. This is more important than anything else that's going on right now. Have you
Yeah.
seen the new beeline skins?
Hey, yeah, I've seen them.
They're so good. They make me very very happy. The fact that they're not prestige makes me upset because like prestige B would be really funny. Like just like a gold B UB just floating around having a great time.
I agree. Do you know what my favorite skin line is, though?
No, no, tell me. What is your favorite skin line?
I know you love it too because you've told me you always listen to their music and you love it, but
Oh.
the KVA line is so cool. I really like it. I hope, hopefully, we'll see someone picking that skin
I mean,
sometime soon.
the skins are pretty good, I'll give it up. As we move back into Champ Select for the final time this
Oh,
evening, hopefully. Darius still being banned away, but this is where things kind of, this is where we got to last time. And it's going to be the Kaiser taken away, so no prestige KDA skin for her. She's
oh,
actually got two of those because, you know, why not? But yeah, Kaiser getting banned away, it makes sense. A lot of the marksmen in this league like
yeah, it
playing
does.
Kaiser
No!
and very, very strong. Seraphine taken off the table as well. Thank you, Victoria's Secret. I'm already a fan. And the RA also going to be removed, which Nymera, who's another color caster I work with occasionally,
Huh?
would be fuming at seeing that one. But it's a decent pickup in mid lane pretty much all the time. Not necessarily a meta dependent champ, but something that if there's a comfortable mid laner on that champ you want to get rid of, and NASA's being
Hey!
removed.
Ooh, does make sense. Yep. So, one thing they wanted, are they taking out, or like, Nami is out too? Why?
It's maybe I feel like Yas might be a Nami player. There's not much reason to remove it over something like the Lulu or the Karma unless there's a specific pick. But Misfortune, we've seen a lot of priority on this pick today. Third time
Absolutely.
in a row it's been picked up in like the first two rotations, and it's still yet to see too much
No,
success.
no, 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 not again. Not again. Not again. Not again. No, 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 don't. Don't. No.
Okay, so Low played Nunu last time. It wasn't the most successful game, but to be fair, Luck's also being picked up, so you know, we're seeing a MVP roster from teams that have lost already today. We'll have to see if these are played in more successful teams. But the Hecarim, first time we're seeing him come onto Rift, and Morgana as well. So we're getting some new pickups from Victoria's Secret here.
Uh, the Hecarim, I like it. The Morgana, not so much. I mean, there are champions that can do what she does better. I mean, we'll see what they have to do. I mean, Misfortune and Morgana is is a good bot lane. So, I mean, but in front you've got Jin. Ooh, that's a tough one.
That'll be very, very interesting depending on what support goes alongside that Jin, because he doesn't have the best time into a Morgana. He likes being a little bit ranged, but the aggro is definitely going to be on the side of Victoria's Secret in that bot lane. Tryndamere is being banned, so we're not going to get
Hey,
to see that one.
you saw that. You just said that before. Like the Trina, maybe the Trina it will be fun to watch it, and now you can't.
I
because
reckon
it's
that the
banned.
teams are actually listening in to what we say pre-game and just banning champs to spite us at this point. Like,
Yeah,
except the Nasus. I don't know why Nasus was banned. Is that a...
I
Because
think
it wasn't
so.
banned in the first game for Astro Angels. So, unless Victoria's Secret knows something that we don't know...
It
Because
does
it...
make sense. Yeah, I think the top laner is quite good at Renekton Nasus, so it does make sense for her to
Okay.
be, yeah, for
I
them
mean,
to ban it.
if that's the case, the Renekton makes more sense to ban unless you've got a specific plan for it on Victoria's Secret. The Z has also been removed, so these bans make me very excited for Victoria's Secret because we haven't done full research on them. But if the logic is Tryndamere and Z are bans we need to make against this team, then their solo laners could pick up some really spicy picks.
Yeah. Also, Akali has been banned by Victoria's Secret, and it does make sense because, as far as I remember, I think it was Maiden Hell who said she loved Akali, but she was like kind of nerfed. So, I mean, they've taken it away, so you can't play it anyways. But there's something, and Fiora is also going to be banned. Okay, I like the ban so far.
Yeah, it's another top laner that just got buffed, another strong duelist taken off the table. We'll have to see where Astro Angels decide to give their counter pick, and it's going to be a run back on the Nautilus for Fixreal, who there's nothing worse than playing a tanky engaged support when your team is behind, which is exactly what she was forced to do last game. It does confirm the Lux going mid, so we'll have to see what that matchup's going to be like, and this could be the Morgana mid with some of the Janna's being locked in. The bamboozlement is complete. It will be Morgana mid, and what are we gonna... Garen? Hello?
It's me.
Okay, what are we gonna see with Pega play? Because she, in the first game, played against an Ornn top as a
Okay.
Darius. I was gonna say I'd like to see the Darius again. It has been banned, but something in that line is gonna be the Malphite, which is completely different. That's fine, but... Okay, that draft definitely took a turn in the last couple of picks.
And I mean, now it is so exciting. Like this game, I was already excited about it because I didn't know much about teams. But now what we've seen, like, oh my god! And also, Lux versus Morgana in the mid lane. Woo!
That is an OG matchup, and something that I'm really
Yeah.
interested in kind of deconstructing as we have a little bit of time before we get into game, is what exactly these teams want to do. Because for the first time today, it's not the most obvious thing. Again, Astro Angels have a more cohesive draft in terms of their strategy because you've got primary engage on the Malphite, secondary engage coming through from the Nunu, and the Nautilus can kind of do both. Two long-range damage dealers. We've seen what this is. We've seen this before several times today with mixed success. I do generally like it, especially into Crimson Sloth on this Misfortune, because, Carmeline, what does Misfortune have to do in order to deal damage?
I mean, what she needs to do first of all is not die. The first, like, she doesn't have to die. She has to survive. That's very important. That's what we saw last game. Suddenly she was being one-shotted and by the champion. Secondly, her positioning has to be very careful, I'd say. Like, please don't get yourself into the middle of everything because you might deal damage, but you cannot receive that much. So please stay there. And also, in particular, against this other comp that was seen by Astro Angels, we're looking at Jhin. Okay, so I'm thinking now about the ultimates, right? And Curtin Cole has such a range that, honestly, I actually think, though, correct me if I'm wrong, but can Misfortune's ulti stop Jin's ulti? Because that could be a good point, you know, like, to take advantage of Jin having to stay there, you know, while throwing the Curtain Call through the ballots, for her to arrive and just stop it from the beginning. And I mean, she can render it useless, so that's going to be a good thing to watch.
Yes, but you've got... Okay, the thing here is that what Victoria's Secret have done is they picked Misfortune, who, as you say, can be a huge threat if she can get positioned well and get that ultimate off. But she has to be standing still for that ultimate. And Malphite loves ulting onto still squishy targets. And not only that, Nautilus also loves ulting still squishy targets. Nunu doesn't have an ultimate that he loves using on those champions, but loves rolling snowballs into them. Furthermore, Lux loves stunning and ulting squishy targets
True.
who are trying to stay on the other side of the team fight. And yes, Victoria's Secret have built a composition that is designed to defend their misfortune. Morgana Spell Shield is going to be huge, but at the same time, is it huge enough to eat multiple different ultimates? Probably not. Janna's going to put a shield on top, but it's not going to stop the CC. And this is a lot of resources being burnt onto a misfortune to keep her alive. Hecarim's diving in and kind of breaking up the fight, but could kind of be used for peel as well. And then Garen is what I like to call a big dumb tank because he's very hard to kill, but he has no CC. He is not going to be all that helpful unless he gets ahead. Ali needs to have a strong, dominant top lane, and I don't necessarily see that happening if Pepega is playing Malphite correctly, because you just slow the Garen whenever he tries to engage on you with a very telegraphed Q engage, and then you just walk off with the increased movement speed.
Absolutely. And now that you're talking about it, I was like focusing a lot on the misfortune. But if I think about it, what is Morgana's ulti going to do in this entire thing? Because I mean, Jin can be ulting you from like the other side of the country. Malphite can also run away. They all like got chances to escape, or even like, I mean, as you said, Lux, she can bind you and goodbye to the ulti. Is it gonna be easy? So I'm thinking like both Lux and Morgana have CC. Um, who is going to get the upper hand in the mid lane? Like that's what I'm thinking right now. Like I think that will be very important. At the same time, I feel like Victoria's Secret has been built a lot around utility, again to be useful to misfortune. Uh, not my favorite comp.
I mean, it's going to be definitely interesting. I want to see exactly how Victoria's Secret's mid laner plays this matchup on the Morgana, and what is maxed by this Morgana. You can kind of max anything on Morg. Q is kind of what supports max sometimes because it gives you more opportunities to use it. It's a bit easier to use, and that's the big tool for support Morgana. Her spell shield on her E is very nice because you get a bigger shield so it can survive through more stuff. And when you've got big teamfight ultimates probably being blown onto Misfortune, who's the only real stationary damage target you have, you want to be able to keep her through a Malphite ult and a Nautilus ult, and a bigger shield might do that depending how the enemies are doing. Or her W, which is her damaging ability, wave clear ability. And if she maxes that, will she be able to roam around more effectively? Can she get involved? But you make a very, very interesting point with the Morgana ultimate and kind of the Janna ultimate as well. All of their tools are disengage, except for Hecarim, who's their primary engage.
Yeah,
And
true.
they have no follow-up engage because no one else wants to. Garen's the only other champion that wants to go into a team fight.
Range
Misfortune.
isn't that great either.
This is true. Misfortune, Morgana, and Janna all want to be staying outside of team fights, which is fine as long as Astra Angels don't have any hard engage. But they have plenty of hard engage. They have Malphite, they have Nautilus. Like, it's not even a case of there's not abilities. If they whiff one ultimate even, they're still going to have ability to engage. They have Nunu as well, just on the side, which we don't even talk about that much. But he is primary engage as well. So I think this one is very much on Astra Angels because I'm concerned that Victoria's Secret haven't really built themselves for success in this matchup. But we are now on to the Rift, and we've got our next episode of our producer Phil. Does he know where the champions are meant to go on the red side?
Hey, to do a big. He does know, okay? Is this a? I'm
There we
just kidding.
go.
He
Good
doesn't.
stuff.
No, I mean, he does. He does. We love you, Phil.
Phil, you're doing great. Exceptional
Yeah.
work as usual. Why did you?
Yep.
Okay, honestly, Janna mid's bad, but Morgana support is good, so you are half right on that one. But I'm, as I say, I'm concerned about Victoria's Secret's composition. That being said, they have great high roll potential. If they can get as far ahead as we saw Quacker's Oats get in first game, their competition will be able to roll over Astro Angels. So I want to see Astro Angels have a much better time in the early game than they did last time around. Maybe play a little bit safer, take trades a little bit more optimally. But if they can do that, I can see them having the stronger team composition.
Also, we've seen how much of like a Garen late game can be like how much of a pain in the fiddlesticks he can be when he moves so tankily that you cannot just kill him or anything. So let's see how it works out for these teams. I mean, what is 2 minutes in? What? I like this bot lane so far. And by the way, Yana's skin is so pretty.
I think one thing to know about this bot lane more than others we've seen is that it's likely to be a little bit less aggressive, a little bit less volatile. Janna is specifically designed to disengage fights, so Nautilus is going to have a bad time if he dives in for those engages. And Jhin, unlike Lucian, cannot really quickly follow up. He can throw his W down to get more CC down, a little bit of poke damage, but he's not really able to bundle in. If these champions are looking to pick up Gale Force, which I imagine both of them will probably look towards, with that Mythic spike, things can become much more aggressive, but because Mythics are so expensive, that isn't really a lane phase thing, and at that point, if you're 2v2ing it in the side lane, either the lane's already gone very well because you've got a lot of gold, or laning phase has gone on for a really long time.
I mean, it could be one of those two things. Now, in any case, talking about, I'm just looking, at lanes, and I'm thinking, to me, Yana has always been quite useless, but it's because I know how to play her. I think it takes a skill to play a champion like that, and she's about to die.
She's not about to die. She's about to stay alive. Crimson Slav just throwing the heal down to make sure that she get out of range of any further CC. But yes, just hanging around. Wants to stay in lane for as long as possible. But Janna, very, very squishy. Can do a surprising amount of poke damage early game if she's going for that W max, that Zephyr, which you can throw down. But look, here comes the Hecarim getting onto main hell. Not the most mobile champion at the moment. Doesn't have flash video because she used it aggressively. And the heal comes through. No final auto attack available there, but first blood coming down with the make it rain. Crimson Sloth makes it rain and picks up first blood.
Hey, I wasn't expecting that. Like, okay, so this this is the Hecarim that I like to see. First of all, I love this type of Hecarims who are not scared to be aggressive. Look at her. She's just going to the mid lane. Why not get another kill while you can?
Blowing flash as well. Lux is very, very mobile, so could be another happy hunting spot for the horse. And you can see that's one of the very powerful things about this Morgana mid. Providing that spell shield to Hecarim meant that Kiara had such a struggle in that 1v2 because she couldn't just land her Q and walk away, because throwing her Q down wouldn't have really done anything to the Hecarim. So has to flash, has to walk away, still has barrier, but on the next gank, if it goes the same way, Lux probably dies.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it's gonna go that way. So, in the meantime, we're looking at this top lane, and things are going as expected, more or less. Just farming, here and there. But look at Garen's farming in comparison to Malphite's. There's a difference already.
Again, it's kind of a case of, we talked about it with Ornn as well. Actually, I'm going to have to hold that thought a second. Coming up, Malphite has the flash as well. Mfan all over the map, and Nunu just not having the same effect right now.
What is that lane pressure? Like, she's everywhere. You didn't expect her to be there, but suddenly it's like, oh, hello, I was coming to visit. How are you? And I mean, I'm really liking this player. We hadn't seen her on stream yet because this is the first time I was seeing Victoria's Secret on a stream, and I'm very pleased with what we're seeing. Like, she clearly knows what to be and how to act, at least to bully the rival out of line. So, good job so far. In the meantime, Janna landing so many tornadoes and hurricanes. I'm so surprised.
They're being thrown out for me a little bit aggressively. You really want to hold them as a disengage tool for when the Nautilus dives in onto yourself or your carry. But it's okay, as long as you can keep a Fixriel at arm's length, things should probably be fine. But as you say, Hecarim's super impressive. Bot lane gets an assist, mid lane burns flash, top lane burns flash. So it's going to be very, very easy for Mfan to move onto the map and get her return ganks to yield greater results, because flash is used to survive, and without it, Lux would have probably died. I think that the Malphite might have been fine, but you can see Hecarim, considering moving down towards bot side, is actually going to start up this first dragon. There is vision on it from Azra Angels, but I don't think they're going to really be able to contest, because priority bot and mid has been very easily secured by Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, maybe Lux is approaching that place. I don't think she's going to be able to do
She's
much.
going to be able to steal away the dragon, though,
And
with the
that's
ultimate. Will be
it.
caught out and take it down for her trouble, but it's actually going to be able to exchange 1-for-1 with the Hecarim as well. So Kiara Crimson Heart pulling off the big play, and something that should be noted as well, flexibility within this Astra Angels lineup. Kiara
Yeah.
was the misfortune last game, is now playing on that Lux mid. Main Hell, of course, playing the champion that must not be named in the mid lane last game, but is now moved down to that Jhin. But exceptional play from Lux there.
Yeah, they're very flexible players. This is something I like a lot. I think this is one of the most flexible teams actually, where everyone plays like. I think there is a player who just plays every single role, even though her favorite champ is Akali. Now you've got Maiden Hell who can play top lane, she can play support, she can play mid lane, she can play AD carry as well. So I like seeing teams that can surprise you with this kind of thing. So props to them. And now, ooh, Nunu escaping, just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Ashley should be able to walk away with that increased movement speed, and very, very low Hecarim gets punched down by the Malphite. Garen not feeling too confident with that one, neither is the Malphite, both back away, but the kill again there was secured by Astra Angels, and Kiara looking for something there, gets a bit of poke damage down onto the Garen. She's going to be able to find a very nice use of her E there to secure a little bit more damage on the back end, but Astra Angels in the last couple of minutes have seemed much more cohesive and much more impressive.
I'm gonna say something. I'm liking Kiara more as a mid laner than as an AD carry so far. Like, I'm really liking what she's doing. I like the pressure she's applying, and I'm really liking her in mid lane rather than AD carry in the bot lane. So in any case, she's also got the shield, so that's gonna be useful. Not so much as Morgana's shield, but I mean something is something. But hey, look at the bot lane. Quite even.
Oh, Nunu's moving down, trying to make it uneven. Engage comes through from the Nautilus. Ultimate from Janna is available, but not going to be used as she is taken out. She's the Eye of the Storm in that fight, and she's going to lose her life.
I mean, one thing that I like about this is one thing that we don't usually talk about, but is the summoner's spells. People, when they get scared, they just burn all of them. They just flash, they use heal, they use whoever they've got available. I like that Janna has accepted her destiny, and she's been like, okay, so I'm gonna keep it for later. I'm not gonna just waste it on this. It's gonna be useless. So good choice out, good decision making.
It's very, very good discipline is what we usually say when, as you say, Janna kind of accepted her death, went down, still has ultimate and both summoners available for a future play, and maybe if it was just a 2v1, she might have been considered using one of those tools, but with the Nunu rolling down, it was... She could have maybe escaped alongside the Misfortune, who did have heal available as well, but, you know, that would have been quite a hard escape to make. And just holding on to those summoners, giving up a little bit of gold, a kill, and a little bit less lane pressure for the last couple of seconds, it's honestly not the end of the world. And good props for the discipline.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, we're looking at the top lane. Oh, Malphite is doing what you said he will do. Like, in terms of like Garen, what do you call him? A dumb what?
A big
Begin-
dumb tank.
That thing.
As in the mid
Oh my
lane,
God.
Morgana might have been caught out using that ultimate to stun up the Lux and doing a decent amount of damage, but not enough
What?
to survive. Kiara picks up another kill. But Ashley burning down pretty low. Will she be able to get away? Yes, she will. Has the barrier available to use that one on the return damage. So it's just going to be a free 1-for-0.
Yeah, however, again, I think we saw here one of those things that I was talking about before. Just ban some of the spells because you're scared. Oh my god.
Baker actually going to be fine to walk away from that one. Has flash, so just going to be jumping over the Garen. Has that slow as well if needed. But again, very, very effective use of the Hecarim. While Fan021 looking to engage on to the Nunu, who doesn't have any support on this objective, and is going to be chased away as Al is there. But it looks like no one's going to be that convinced about starting up this Rift Herald as both teams back away.
Yeah, I mean, they could have tried to do it, but they've been wise. They've decided, retreat, just go back to base, buy what you need to, instead of just getting into a fight that could have potentially turned against them on talking about fights.
Yeah, but that's the power of the Janna. She held the ultimate when she was caught out, so she can use it when her carry is, and is going to be able to knock enemies back, heal up Misfortune just a little bit, and both members of the bot lane can walk away without burning a summoner spell.
That's good for them, and also, I'm really liking this bot lane. Honestly, usually I wouldn't support a Misfortune Diana bot lane just because I don't really like the dynamic of that one. But in this case, I think that we're doing a great job. They are keeping things even. Um, I mean, things could have gone really pretty badly for them. We talked before about how important Misfortune was for this camp, how much resources they were given her, and so far, I don't think they've made a bad decision. I think this was okay.
Well, Hecarim might be in trouble here. Will get rooted up by
Oof.
Lux, and Vixreal is there for the follow-up. Will be able to use that ultimate, but it's not going to be enough as the damage comes through. Actually going to be the Nautilus securing that one, and perfect timing on the kill because the dragon is lying there waiting. Will be the second one for Astra Angels when they secure this one, unless, I was going to say unless there's another really nice ultimate coming through for the steal, but Lux is on this team, so doesn't need to steal the cap away from our own jungler. Teleport coming down just in case, but as the Misfortune Orb won't do enough as Pega bundles in, just to make sure that there's no big fight on the back of that dragon. The Cloud Winds will quicken as well, so going to be seeing the Cloud Soul this time around, which is nice to have a bit of variety.
I guess I've seen Lux use her ulti twice in a very how to say so, like from up close, and honestly, like I get why you would want to use your ulti, like it's your most popular skill. At the same time, I know I think like her teammates could have finished the others off rather than having to use her ulti in this situation when she's like what 3 feet apart from the person who dies.
That is very, very true. Although it should be said the Lux ult is quite a low cooldown ability, so not the same as blowing, say, a Malphite ultimate on the same target. But yeah, it was overkill, is what it was. But you know, if Lux ultimate will be up for the next play, which it looks like it is, then things should be fine. Mfan moving up to catch out Pepega 0-2 once again. But Pepega on the Malphite is currently 1-0, not 0-2, and is able to walk out of that gank absolutely fine. As the tower plates will slough off at the 14-minute mark. A small-ish gold lead on the side of Astra Angels right now, but with those two dragons as well, they've set themselves up very nicely moving into this mid-game.
I was liking what Amphan was doing with Hecarim, like we were talking about the pressure she had and Everlane, but at the same time, like the past few plays that she's done, I'm not so sure about because I feel like she isn't like taking advantage of the entire Hecarim kit and how strong he is. And what was this?
Still, attempted roam, you know, it's sadly couldn't catch out the Janna, who, as we say, is designed to keep members of the enemy team away from her carry, which she's been having success with so far. Misfortune hasn't died and is farming up, keeping even with this Jhin, and all things considered, bot lane much quieter than we've seen in the past couple of games.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this now. Not Crimson, Jasp's Janna is one of the best that I've seen. And you might be like, hey, come on, but how many Jannas have you seen? Like one? No. The thing is, I'm really liking how she's landing her abilities. Like, I wouldn't be able to do so. And she's protecting, as you said, Misfortune as much as she can. And so far, she's done it well. So, I mean, props to her. And I shall say, again, his skins were pretty.
It's always fascinating to see a style of champion play that isn't seeing that much play at the moment. The Janna is something that we haven't seen very much recently because support players have been preferring these kind of Guardian Warden type of champions.
Yeah.
Your Nautiluses, your Rels, your Leonas, your Alistairs as well, which is something we haven't seen at all this evening. As another attempted gauge comes through from Vixreal, but won't be able to find it and is forced to back away. And it's not like our players don't even play this style of champion. As you can see, Vixreal's second game of Nautilus of the night. So Warden supports, and we saw Charlotte have an absolutely astonishing performance on Rel last game as well. So it's not like the players in the tournament don't play it. It's just a case of maybe preferring to go for something disengagey, and how will that go?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, maybe it's also something that we talked about several times already, like, what champions they are most comfortable playing. Oh my god.
Well, that was not a great use of the stopwatch, but no cooldowns for Kiara means that she is going to not have enough to kill right by nature. Vixreal and Maidenhell need to get their umbrellas out as Misfortune continues with the poke, and Maidenhell getting caught out there One of the issues here is the re-engage coming through. The ultimate has to be burned immediately by Janna, who's still going to take a decent poke, but will be able to get a little bit back onto the Jhin on the way out. But this is one of the problems that you have a little bit in this bot lane, is that Janna can't really set up to punish the bot lane from Astra Angels without a lot of support, because
True.
they're not able to get on top of this Jhin.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I feel like both bot lanes are being compromised, but the thing is, like, do you know that you cannot approach Miss Fortune because Yana is there, but you cannot approach Jin because, you know, Teal is there too, so it's like kind of like, stale at this
Going
moment.
through, was the steal secured? It doesn't look like it is. Fan gonna have to back away. The Eye of the Herald has been secured and is his Laurel's pocket. What
Yep.
can the Nunu do with that one?
I mean, it looks like she wants to go mid lane, perhaps. Like, okay, so talking from personal point of view,
Okay.
bot lane is kind of stale. Like, both bot lanes are keeping it quite even in terms of farming, in terms of pressure, in terms of control, everything. Top lane is kind of similar. If it were me, I try to, you know, try to exploit Morgana's weaknesses and try to help Lux when it comes to that, and take down that first tower. Now, is it a wise decision? A wise decision having Hecarim on the opposite side, someone who you know has high mobility and can, you know, gank whenever he wants to? I don't know, but that's what I do, at least.
I think that's an interesting one as well, because Morgana with that W max, and you can see Leandri's Anguish also being secured, can rip through small minion waves with just the W, but can't really rip through that Rift Herald. Dragon has been started up before the Rift Herald has been dropped though, so it looks like Azure Angels want to secure their third one and set up for Soul Point in 5 minutes time, but members of Victoria's Secret are hanging around the area, won't be able to secure a steal though, as the third dragon goes over pretty much uncontested to Astra Angels.
Another thing that should be noted, we are about to hit 20-minute mark. Last game we saw Astra Angels play, it was almost over for them in like 23 minutes. In this one, they're actually putting up a fight. They're making smart decisions, I'd say, and they're getting a lot more vision, objective control, so things that you actually need to win a game. So good for them. I feel like they've learned from the mistakes.
It does seem like that for now. This game has certainly been slower. Last time we watched Astra Angels, around about this time in the cast, you said that the game should probably already be over with their opponents having won. So definitely an improved performance. Laurel rolling down towards this bot lane. Probably not going to be able to find a decent engage onto a Misfortune under tower in the top side. Just, you know, tanks slapping each other, but Hecarim getting involved. It's not really going to change all that much, as the Rift Herald will be dropped on the bot side, trying to funnel some pressure down towards the Jhin and the Nautilus. This tower will be secured, the first one of the game, and mid lane tower also going very, very low, but it looks like members of Astra Angels want to push forward and try and get a second charge off this Rift Herald. Root comes down onto Janna, who's going to be kept in place just a little bit, and this tower probably not going to be able to go down, although they're going to continue on with the siege. There's not that much that members of Victoria's Secret can do when it's just the bot lane. They will be able to grab the second tower in the mid side, right by nature, almost goes back to nature with so much damage coming out of Kiara's Lux, but weren't able to find that killing blow required to pick up another kill.
Okay, so this made complete sense for me. I was saying send the Root Herald mid lane, but this makes sense because you're just, you know, at the moment the bot lane was quite even. With this move, just straight to all of the towers. You're forcing them to go to all the lines. You're forcing them to keep an eye on the bot lane while they're just not protected. And look at this, the damage.
Gets a little bit of damage, but we'll be able to walk away. The ultimate comes through, actually trying to get onto Lux, but won't be able to find it. And now Nunu is there. Maiden Hell running down as well. One bit of CC will be all it takes, but the curtain has been called. Hecarim can dive out of the fight, but now the sights turn towards the Morgana. Won't be able to find a killing blow because she's full health and going to be backing away. But crucially, Kiara was able to survive that play.
Yeah, so, I mean, did I like this play? This is when the curtain call came into play. Like, of course, Jin's range when it comes to his ultimate is quite impressive, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, okay, it kind of, like, Hecarim has the tools to get away from it. Morgana not so much, but then again, she wasn't that far away from the limit between the ulti and the freedom, so...
Very, very true. it looks like a siege is being set up mid lane, and Maiden Hell trying to clear away this mini should be able to have a good time with it. But one thing I want to say, PSA to all the top lanes out there, Pega and Ali, please stop ulting each other at full health. It's a case of the Garen makes more sense, but it isn't execute, so you want to be getting the Malphite low, and it's difficult to get the Malphite low without the ultimate. But Pega especially, with that teleport being available, holding that ultimate to be able to use it in a team fight against squishier, higher priority targets will be very, very important for Astra Angels moving forward. So you don't really want to use it onto a high health Garen, where we've got to that stage in the top lane where no one's really dying in the 1v1. Even with a gank from a Hecarim and Nunu, no one's probably dying in that play anymore, just because you can see Garen pretty beefy, has gone for the Stride Breaker. You can see Malphite not yet with that Mythic because Pepega decided to go for a Bramble Vest, which into Garen's actually not as good as you'd think, because Garen's sustain is when he hasn't taken combat damage, which Bramble Vest, you're already dealing combat damage if you're melee with Garen, which is when Bramble Vest pops, and the mortal wounds don't really interact with his passive because they're not there as long as the cooldown on the passive. But it's fine into the enemy team as a whole, because it will be okay into Hecarim. It'll be very nice to do his Fortune going later, but just slow up the Mythic a little bit. But from this point on, top lane, I don't want to see you fighting. Go up there to farm and clear waves, and then move around the map and make plays. Garen, you can maybe stay top a little bit longer because you're not that good in team fights, but you're still not going to have a good time into the Malphite 1v1. That being said, drag it up in 25 seconds. Everyone should be around this one, because if it's secured by Astra Angels, they grab themselves a soul. And while Cloud Soul isn't the most crucial one to pick up, they want to set themselves up for an Elder Dragon in 5 minutes' time. That could really be crucial in the way that this game pans out.
So one thing that I want to point out is what you just said about the top laners being just in the top lane doing the top laner things, like that island far, far away that no one visits ever, except for Hecarim wounds. So now they're like, I like for both of them to see how they are trying to be part of the team and take part in the team fights, which is going to be quite important going
and Fan dives into the pit. Garen trying to get the mix up there, and there's some damage coming through. First kill of the fight goes on to the Nautilus. The red team will be able to slay the dragons. Astra Angels do have the soul, but they're being ripped to pieces. Pepega will go down. The last member available is Kiara. Triple kill going over to Garen. Ali, see, this is the power of the ultimate when you're using it on squishy targets.
So, was it that really worth it for Crane Semislow to go after Kiara? Like, she just went away from her team, which is something that this Misfortune shouldn't have done, and just followed someone who had more health than her, who has a bind to keep you away, and she just died. So, that was a little dubious, but otherwise, quite good.
Yeah, true. And yes, it was probably a little bit brave, but the Misfortune does probably need to be the one diving in onto the Lux at this point, because Kiara is a lot of the gold that's in the pocket of Astra Angel. She's a lot of the damage on this team. So taking her out is crucial, and now you can see Misfortune with the Gale Force might have considered the opportunity of getting that one-shot. Wasn't able to do it this time around, but I wouldn't be mad if Crimson Sloth goes for a repeat kind of play when she's got a little bit more damage on top of her, because while the Lux isn't probably going to get that much more tanky, except when maybe Azonia's being picked up, but you can see by her build path hasn't got basically any of the components for that one lined up just yet, except for an Amp Tome. Misfortune is going to be able to do more damage. So there is a window where the Misfortune should be looking to one-shot that Lux, but yeah, in that specific example, you are absolutely correct that it was probably unwise to go for.
I mean, I don't know. She was also going away. She was leaving the lane, so it wasn't like she was going to ulti or something. I'm talking about ultis.
Engage coming through from Hecarim, but no ultimate available. Ali swirling forward, can't find anything, but will keep the members of Astra Angels at bay for now. Remember, Baron is on the map, but not going to be attempted by either of these teams just yet. Lux using that ultimate for wave clear with 2 Cloud Dragons and the Soul. Going to be on a very, very short cooldown, that ability. Probably around like 30 seconds. An engage comes through from Hecarim. Going to be going down immediately. Maiden Hell picks up that one as Yas not even able to disengage probably. She flashed away, gets taken down. Double kill going over to the Jhin. Ali is there. 1v4 onto tower. And yeah, the Garen does escape, but the objective goes down. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kiara holding her own against 2 members. The Morgana and Misfortune have all the wave clear to push minions into the tower, but they can't really threaten Lux without some really important assistance, which they're not going to be able to find.
I,
Right, cool, yeah, so Morgana goes down, Kiara does damage. Nice. Who'd have thought?
I know what I've just seen. Uh, so now they're going for the Baron, which is a good move. Like, I mean, we've got Morgana out of the equation. Miss Fortune is too far away to get there. So, I mean, it's a good call to get the Baron right now, especially considering how many objectives you've gone so far. So, good for Astro Angels, who are finally showing what they are made of and what they can do. Now, on the other hand, I mean, I'm feeling like they're a little lacking in certain aspects, but that's actually something that comes with synergy and that kind of thing. So I'm not gonna blame them for that. Just there's room to be improved. To improve.
Absolutely, and we talked about this at the end of the first game, right? Where we were like, Astro Angels, Mixed University may need some time to get acquainted with each other to learn how the play patterns work for the other members of their team, and even now it's stronger than it was in that first game. So, promising signs of improvement already over the course of what was essentially 1.5 games coming into this one at this stage, 28 minutes in, and it looks like members of Astro Angels a little bit slow to the defense of this bot tower, so it will be taken out. Hecarim able to secure that one, but the engage comes through from Fixer. You can see the Nunu rolling in as well. Luxalt will whiff, but it might not even matter as everyone's getting knocked up by Fixer's ultimate. 1, 2, third kill coming down in that fight. Jim picks up 2, Lux picks up 1, and they've got themselves a wave in this bot side. Could well look to push forward and try and take this inhibitor.
Okay, so remember what I said about Miss Fortune's position being quite important for Hadwin? This was one of the things that I was talking about. Like, her position was kind of weird. She was flanking, but was she really? I mean, of course, when it comes to the ulti, it was quite good because she was able to hit all of them. But at the same time, was it really worth it? Do you think killed again? I don't think so. And talking about that, the inhibitor is going to go down.
Yeah, inhibitor goes down. No members in the base to defend. It's going to be the Hecarim, the only one there. He's going to take a lot of damage from that Lux ultimate. And it looks like Kiara wants to grab the kill. Can't find it just yet as members are recalling. You can see Janna and Miss Fortune both available now to defend, which does force members away. Morgana in the mid side will be able to secure a mid lane tower, but at the cost of an inhibitor, probably not worth it.
But at the same time, right by nature, just solely put into that and took it. Like, okay, so what can I do while they are destroying my base? Am I too far away to retreat now? They've got Baron and so on. Like, what can I do? I like that she actually went for the tower because it's a way to prevent them from going any farther. It's like, I know, doesn't that happen to you when you're playing? Like, whenever someone destroys like a tower of yours, that no matter what you're doing, it's like, oh my god, a tower! I can't allow it to go down. So that might be like, you know, the process behind the decision making. But in any case, they're looking to get the Elder Dragon. So.
Yeah, Elder Dragon will be on the map in 10 seconds time. Completely dominated by Astra Angels, but it just takes one steal, and we've seen a steal already today, although it was Kiara who managed to pull that one off. The Dragon will be started immediately, as it looks like this one should be contested pretty hard by Victoria's Secret. Astra Angels are trying to drag it out of the pit, make it as hard as possible to steal. Hecarim hanging out over the wall, but is several levels lower than the Nunu. The Smite is going to do less damage, and the Chomp Down, the Devour, is going to do a lot from Laurel as well. You can already see members go, Yasp is on about 300 health on the side. Hecarim waiting for the opportunity to strike. Can he steal away the Dragon? Yes, he can! Elder Dragon goes over to Victoria's Secret, who can now look to try and take this fight. They've got the execute on their side. They're running over portions of the fight. Kiara can't flash over the wall, but does dodge away from the snare. One member has gone down from Victoria's Secret, but they take out 2 members of Astra Angels and might look to try and take down Papega as well. The ultimate is good this time around because of the Dragon buff on the back of it. That was a huge clutch play coming through from Victoria's Secret, who keep themselves in this game.
That was really impressive, and finally Miss Fortune, I mean, she's in the role that she was meant to do at the beginning, like, okay, who do the resources go to? To her. Is she doing well? She is. I mean, she's fulfilling the role she's been given. Now, I really liked her position during the game. It was quite on point, and also, please, let's do a shout out just because her Yana is doing really, really well in terms of like protecting whomever she needs to protect. So really good. And also the uncalled hero, the unsung hero Ali with Garen, 402 so far. She's been farming top lane for ages, and when she finally had to step up and being a part of the team fights, has she done it? Has she delivered? Absolutely.
That is very, very true. Ali, since moving out of that top lane, has been much more effective for her team than she ever was in lane against Pepega, which is to be expected. It's a Malphite, it's a tank. You don't really interact with him all that much. So massive, massive shout out to Ali on that, Garen, for those contributions and team fights. But now you can see that one fight hasn't swayed the game as much as you'd maybe consider it would. But with the Elder Dragon buff still being available on a couple of members of Victoria's Secret, they might feel more confident to try and contest this Baron buff. You can see a mid lane tower being just stolen away by Maiden Hell, as the Jhin will scarper away towards this Baron buff. Want to be able to secure this one and engage might well be soon. You can see right by nature will be able to use that spell shooter, but only on one member. Actually, use it on the Janna, which means that she gets caught up herself. Going to be caught up in the CC spiral. Will go low, will go down. Hecarim coming in for the backside. Can they get a return fight? No, double kill coming in for the Lux already. Looking for more, looking on the flank. Nice CC coming through from Nautilus with a hook. Ali goes down, triple kill going over to Kiara. M-Fan not interested in giving her any more, as he's going to back away alongside Crimson Sloth. But members of Astra Angels not interested in taking the Baron right now, it would appear. They're more looking to get down with this mid lane and maybe look to break down another inhibitor.
Look at the minions that are already getting at the base and destroying towers. Like, they're also around there, and even if you forget about them, the waves are still coming. Also, what was that from Hecarim? A misfortune. They weren't there when they were needed, and that was definitely the downfall for Victoria's Secret. In the meantime, Astra Angels during the Baron, logically an objective that makes sense for them. They didn't have anyone to contest it, and that looks... Kira, why'd you do it? What was it? I mean, whoa.
Yeah, so much damage coming through from this Lux, and it looked like they were tempted to push mid initially, but maybe a little bit of communication breakdown with Kiara running down mid, the rest of the team going towards that Baron, and Lux would have helped them do it much quicker, but it doesn't really matter. They've now got the buff on all 5 members. The blue inhibitor in the bot lane has respawned, which means a little less pressure will be gained down there, but they've already got the Baron, which is what you use that pressure for most of the time anyway, so not going to be the end of all things down there. And honestly, with that play coming down and the Elder Dragon buff being gone from members of Victoria's Secret, the game is very much back in Astra Angel's court, and one good team fight into a decent push with Baron buff should probably spell the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Laurel with that Nunu just supporting all the lines. I gotta say, the past game that we saw her Nunu, I didn't quite like her. But this one, I'm actually enjoying it. You know, like, I enjoy that people allow themselves to be carried and to help others instead of just want to be the carries all the time. Oh,
that all does not do very much damage to Pepega. Not at all. L'Oreal, on the other hand, goes pretty low. Hecarim maybe looking for an engage, can't find it. Garen on the top side will once again sneak away a tower, but damage coming out of Lux. Wow. Yasp almost gets deleted in one blow, but does manage to survive. You can see that the cannons are just going to be chipping away at that tower. It will go down after one more shot. There you go. And now Maiden Hell looking to chase forward. Can't land the stand. Nunu rolling that snowball. It's the biggest snowball ever, but it's not going to get that much damage down onto Misfortune. No follow-up is evadable. You can see Astra Angels picking up the first inhibitor in the mid lane of the game. We'll be looking to move down towards this bottom, which they've already taken once before, but has respawned. Should be able to secure that one pretty easily, but there will be a fight over it. Lux gets the deletion onto Hecarim. Ali also going to be taken out, and that's a lot of the front line. The entire front line deleted from Victoria's Secret. They will be looking to get onto the Morgara as well, and that's another kill. Made in Hell grabs a double and looks to press on towards these towers. This should be the end of the game as soon as those minions get in range of these Nexus towers, which they just have. Yasp and Crimson Sloth can just sit and watch. There's nothing that they can do. Maiden Hell picks up another kill as Lux finishes off the ace. Astra Angels, with the redemption arc across the stream, pick up a win.
What? Oh, my fiddlesticks. So, I love Kira in this game. I said it in the beginning, I said now. That Lux was powerful, and honestly, I don't usually expect Lux to be the most relevant player in the game, but in this one, she wasn't letting anyone get away with it. Like, she was, I can ulti him, even if he's like, here, just in front of me, I'm gonna do it and get a kill. So, I mean, amazing from Hani. Really hope we can see more of it on this kind of plays in the future.
Yeah, definitely a stronger performance from Astra Angels overall. And as I said, Maidenhell being in that bot side looked like a stronger marksman. And in the mid lane, Kiara looked on fire on the Lux. So maybe
Totally.
something to consider moving forward for that team composition. Victoria's Secret, there were moments of real power. Early game, they looked good. Jungle, Hecarim looked nice, moving from lane to lane, getting stuff in every single lane. Stealing away
True.
the Elder Dragon as well gave them a glimmer of hope. But I just think some of the decision making was off. I think that trading random towers outside of the base for an inhibitor
Yeah.
when you could have recalled and defended, not really the one. And again, it could just be a case of a bit of communication breakdown. We saw it from both of these teams this game. Need to
Mhm.
go away, do a bit of scrimming, play some games together, and make sure that you're on the same hymn sheet before going into the latter stages of the tournament. But that one was a very interesting game. And we've had the full spectrum of games here from very one sided to very, very close to one team in control but slipping up and the other team capitalizing when they could. So
Yeah.
overall, really, really happy with what we've seen today.
Me too, as Angelica Skylar will say, I'm satisfied with this. So I'm really happy and I hope in the future we will see more games like these ones because that was a real um fight for the power, like it almost seemed at times like in the second game in particular, you saw how I'm confused almost got it. Like they were almost winning team fights, but they didn't manage to do it in the end. So I really like to watch how these teams improve in the next few weeks and learn from the mistakes, because that's definitely going to be so interesting to watch.
100%, absolutely. But Carmine, last question for you before we head off after our final game. Over the day, was there an MVP for you, a player that stood out throughout
Yeah.
all three games?
Um, of course, she didn't play during the three games, but for me, I gotta say the player that I remember the most for now is Honeycomb. I think she does a great job as being the jungler, so props to her.
Massive shout out, and I think it's pretty obvious, but Charlotte on that rail in that second
Oh,
game,
too.
exceptional performance across the board there. And I mean, it was just a very, very strong performance from Hecker and PTSD overall to win in that highly contested game. But that is all we've got time for. So thank you all so much for joining us. From myself, Carmeline, and the whole production team here at Newell, thank you very, very much for tuning in. A massive shout out to our sponsors, Unite Students, Twitch Student, and Logitech G as well. We massively appreciate your support. So thank you very much for watching. And if you're looking for more League of Legends action, remember Wednesday for the Classic Newell tournament, and then back here on Friday, same time, same place for the more Women's LOL tournament. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running, running back to you. Back to you. Back to long nights can get me feeling lonely. Hey. And hearing music that can make me smile. remains on my mind. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you, but somehow I keep running back to you, back to you. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad. I don't want to lose it all, lose it all. I don't want to lose it all, loving you. No, I don't wanna lose it all, loving you. No, I have been too scared of letting go. I don't want to lose it all, no. I don't wanna lose it. I don't wanna lose it all, loving you. No, I have been too scared of letting go. I don't wanna. I don't want to lose it all, lose it all. I don't want to lose it all, loving you. No, I don't wanna lose it all, loving you. No, I have been too scared of letting go. I don't want to lose it all, no. See